Just this week, a family I was working with, and mom was picked up for shoplifting and got 3 months jail for that, because she was trying to do something to help the family. Just this week. And that's just one example of where a community approach to feeding and to sustainable feeding for people in poverty would make a very big impact. The idea behind this, and I have to commend those who thought it up, is really when you talk about low-hanging fruit. I hate to mix my metaphors, but still. It's such a simple idea. But 300 breadfruit in a community over a period of a year that weren't there before, planted in a place that is available for people to pick as they need, on trees that are not terribly tall, which means that they can be managed easily. That's a win-win-win for everyone. And it really helps us as church to take a ministry that we have been doing to the next stage, because we have been in every community and working with the poorest of the poor in all the communities of Trinidad and Tobago. This gives us something else to put into the food basket when we're distributing food. And that's a nice thing, because it means that it gives a sustainable gift. And so another slogan we could have used for this is the gift that keeps on giving, because it really does. Some years ago I was in the World Urban Forum. It was held in Canada that year. It was the first time I heard the notion of food security, and I'd never thought about it before. And every nation needing to have its own food security. But when I heard the idea and I understood the idea, it grabbed my attention, because we are planting less and less, importing more and more, which means that any little imbalance in the world and we are going to be caught out on the wrong side of food security. Places like Canada are promoting little plots for people to plant, and citizens getting involved in planting their own little herbs and this and that. By that I mean seasonings, and let's be careful. let's be clear here. I mean seasonings. As just a part of how you live. My grandmother had a little bin right on the side by the fence that had thyme and French thyme and a little basil and a little this and a little that you could go out, a little rosemary, you could go out and pick it and season. And we've lost that as Trinidad and Tobago. I remember once going to my aunt in Tobago, and we arrived unannounced, and she said, "Oh, you all staying for lunch?" I said, "Well, we didn't plant it." She said, No, you're staying for lunch. And she took me outside with her, and she said, "Dig here." And some roots came up. I found out that was cassava. And I dig here, and some dasheen came up, and we went and we picked some peas over yonder. And then she picked up a chicken, and that was and some callaloo bush, and everything that she needed for lunch was there, with a little bit of pepper that she picked and some other seasonings, and everything was in her garden except for the rice. We've lost that. And one of the things that we need to do as Trinidad and Tobago is having little plots of land that are being planted by everybody who has a little bit of land, and it doesn't need a lot of land for doing things. But to start by planting breadfruit trees right throughout our country, I think is a brilliant stroke, because it takes food right throughout the country, and wherever there is need, it means that there is available fruit available. In St. Vincent, where I was bishop for many years, where I grew to love the breadfruit even more than here, because that's breadfruit country. And right through the country there's breadfruit. And that means that nobody's starving in the country, because wherever people don't have, the breadfruit trees is available in public land, and you can pick, and nobody's quarreling about it. To think about food security doesn't need a national budget. It needs imagination. It needs some bright ideas. It needs a couple people committed, and it needs some willing stakeholders partnering. And that's what we're starting today. A movement of food security in our country where we can come together, and hopefully from this bright idea, many other ideas might flow to be able to bring hope into our country at this time. So I would like to thank those who have put a lot of work into bringing this project to this stage, and it's really at an amazing place, and to say that we're going to do everything that we can in partnership with you to take it to the next stage so that we get trees out into the communities. Thank you for your work.